When you look at the PSP AudioWare DRC plugin, there's no denying that it is based upon DBX. Not the 160, but the 118 like this hardware one. Fun fact, DBX did not emulate this hardware unit, but the DRC plugin is inspired by the 118. One thing a DBX-inspired plugin should excel at is spank, that typical DBX snap. DRC can absolutely do that. Here's a first example on, of course, drums. You can push this snap so far that it gets ridiculous. There's barely any use case to push that far until you blend that in with the original audio. Then you can add a nice snap only. But DRC is far more versatile than only doing that. There is this unassuming mode switch, but this one, in combination with the ratio dial, gives you a surprisingly broad amount of dynamic control styles. Starting with the above setting, signals above the threshold get compressed with the ratio you set here. If you cross over into expand, this will boost signals above the threshold. This can get extremely loud, and for that, a little side step here, use the saturation dial. This one will drive the audio into clipping, and this ranges from soft clipping to more harder, depending on the setting of the dial. This one also works without any compression happening. That means that DRC can also work as a soft to hard clipping tool. Switching to below does this. You get upward compression. That means that any signal below the threshold gets boosted. In other words, softer parts are made louder. With expand, this turns into downward expansion. That means that signals below the threshold get softer. Think of a sound that is like a gate. It tightens things up. When you set the mode to linear, things get even more interesting. Linear compression can be seen as a type of OTT, over-the-top compression, where signals below the threshold are boosted and above the threshold get reduced. Linear expansion increases signals above the threshold and attenuates the one below that threshold. It's sort of like the downward expansion on steroids. Again, careful with loud signals, the saturation dial will come in handy and adjust the output level as well. But you can also use the gain limit controls. With these, you set how much maximum cut or boost is applied. If you like this breakdown so far, please make sure to subscribe if you haven't done so already to stay up to date on the latest new plugins. PSP AudioWare has, as you could already see, included quite a few extra features. There is even more. For instance, the plugin can detect the level by peaks or two ways of RMS. These last two will then compress or expand more based on average loudness. And there's a rather nice sidechain filter with low pass, low shelf and high shelf control. That means you can really tweak how the compressor reacts to the incoming audio. I received this plugin to try out and give feedback. And one of my remarks was implemented. The attack used to be 100 milliseconds at max, but PSP AudioWare increased it to 250 after I asked if a longer attack was possible. Now, one of the reasons why I wanted that is because that helped in matching the DRC to my 118 for both expansion and compression. Even though the DRC isn't meant as an emulation of the 118, it can come close. When you measure with Plugin Doctor, you can see aliasing at 48 kHz. But to counter that, there's the FAT switch. This one enables quad oversampling to get rid of that aliasing. The latency is only 6 samples, that equals 0.1 milliseconds at 48 kHz. Overall, DRC is like a Swiss knife for compression and expansion, but with a DBX flavor. I really like this one, but of course try it out for yourself to find out if it fits in your audio toolshed.